Hey everybody, how's it going? So welcome to the finale episode of Cadnham Castle here in Planet Coaster, and the last few weeks have all been leading to this very episode. The episode when you finally get to know who Plomplepop is, and I bet you're so excited you can taste sick in your mouth, right? Was that gross? That feels like that might have been gross, but whatever. Anyway, welcome to Plompletown. This is the fictitious cartoon home of Professor Plomplepop. It's a famous cartoon character in the universe that my parks live in. So just like Gardaland has got Prezzemolo, our parks have got Professor Plomplepop. And I'm going to punish myself by saying it a lot through an episode. Now, if you're new to the channel, you're probably thinking, what the actual fudge is going on? Well, welcome to the weirdness. It's basically a cartoon character who's a professor of all things silly. We saw him first in Chacholandia, and now Cadnham Castle has got a license to rip off the IP. That's basically the short story. By the way, I've intentionally never mentioned Professor Plomplepop's pronouns. That's because it could have been a boy or a girl, or anything in between, but based on your submissions on the Steam Workshop, it's safe to say he is a he. So we're gonna go with that. But girls and people in between, just remember that you can be professors too. That's my public service announcement. And somehow I've got to turn this into a cartoon town. And guys, just like I had no idea with the Booster Bikes episode, that is also true today. But I'm so giddy because I get to bring a cartoon to life. So this is exciting for me, but I'm making this up as I go along. So you'll spot that there's lots of rides and attractions in here. This episode has got a little bit of everything going on. The first off is the coaster. It is a clone of the Plomplepop coaster from Chacholandia, but the difference is this one doesn't have a maintenance track. This one would be serviced in the station and the brake run. Whether it would have two trains, I'm not entirely sure. It could only just have the one, but either way, it's in the park. So you know the layout by now. There's the lift hill into the first drop, quite a shallow drop. First turn, airtime hill. Second turn, airtime turn, and then the final turn around here, and then into the brake run. So you're familiar with that one. I'm probably going to change the colours because it probably needs to be slightly different, but ultimately it is an off-the-shelf Plomplepop clone. The next thing we've got then is a playground area. So I have dragged in the same playground stuff that I did for all of my other parks, and this all started in Reigate Lake. So it's one that I dragged off the workshop, and it's just so good that you just have to keep using it again and again and again. But I think I need to plumple this up. Plumple it up. It's going to become a thing, isn't it? You're going to plumple something up. And then we've got a car ride coming in here. I don't know what the importance is to the town. You make it up. I'm sure it will come to life, but there's a car ride anyway, and it's the Lunar Autos. Just like we've got a boat ride. Is it a harbour? Is it a river? Is it what? No idea. I just know I wanted something like the boat ride that is it in the Night Garden boat ride at Alton Towers. So I wanted something similar to that where I could show off all of the friends and whatever, because there's some stuff that's coming that people have been working on outside of the channel for a couple of weeks, and they are incredible. So I'm gonna bring all the characters and stuff to life in here. And then we've just got a couple of supporting rides. So we've got the town's Ferris wheel, and we've got is it an airport? Is it just a thing? Tornado? I don't know. But it's two rides anyway, nonetheless. And then we've got the train ride. Now, the train ride the track has been in for a while. You've seen this since I was doing the pirate episode. So the train ride is going to go all the way around the outside, round the outside. Trailer Park Girls. So I promised you weird. So the train tracks are going to come all the way around this way, and then around the back of the pirate area, and then around the back this way. We do have the witches carousel. I do kind of wish that I'd used this in the Spoopy Land, as we already talked about in the episode, but it's fine. It's here. It does its job. This is going to be another building. I don't know what purpose it serves. It's going to be like some kind of mad experiment because it's Professor, so he's doing silly things, silly experiments and whatever. So that's what we've got here. We've got a central carousel, which is different to the main carousel. So yes, this is a park that's got two carousels. So we'll deal with that. But shorter queue than the other one, by the way, because the prestige on this one's not going to be so high. And then we've just got this little ride here, the waltzers, because it's traditional. And I needed something that had a bit of a high back, or I could have put a back on, because this is obviously going to be a building. So this is going to be a massive gift shop. of course, you're going to monetize and sell as much Plomplepop crap as you can possibly muster. And then we just got the an ice cream parlor that's going to be here just so we can make use of the building. I don't know if there's going to be a wall here. Haven't decided yet whether it's going to be 2 buildings or whether it's going to be 1. And then we've just got a couple of supporting shops here. And finally, Chacho Toilets! It's the last one of the series. I did promise you that this episode is going to have a bit of everything. You've got a coaster, you've got a flat ride, you've got a track ride, you've got toilets, you've got shops. I don't know how I'm going to get this done. But saying that, there's the town as it is at the moment. Let's see how it turns out. See you in a minute. OMG, you guys, this is quite literally turning into my favourite build I think I have ever done on this channel. Like, I'm so giddy to show you around. This should not have been as fun as it has been. And with your help, I've been able to create this cartoon character that doesn't exist in real life. It's an IP that we just made up for this park. Pull it together and create a land all around it of this cacophonous colour mash that's in front of you right now. I'm so excited to show you around. Like, honestly, it's been brilliant. And this is Plomplepop. Hello, mate. So this was submitted as part of the early competition that I put on the members channel, not the members channel, sorry, on the community tab, to invite you to create Plomplepop. And this was from, I hope I'm going to say your username right. Apologies if I'm not. It's Ukman 11. And this is what you came up with. And you actually came up with 2 characters for this one. So we've also got Gummy. So your backstory is that he's some kind of mad scientist that throws gummy bears or gummy balls around. Love it. This was hands down the best one I saw. So you are officially the face of Plomplepop. And that's what he looks like. And it's, yes! But you'll also spot some other characters. Yes, Spike has been busy as well, and my god, he has delivered. And I didn't even prompt this, right? These characters just came out of nowhere, and it was like Spike got straight into my head and knew exactly what Plomplepop and his friends needed to look like. So this dude here, I've got to get this right. This dude here, he is Adam the Atom, or Adam the Atom, because he makes up everything, right? So how cool is he? He's so cute. And then we have Nos. I think this is Nos here. And then we also have Nitros, which is this one. I think this is the right way around. Anyway, so yeah, because the thing I've got here says he's cool and she's hot. So there you go. So Nitros and Nos. Oh, honestly, they're perfect. I love them so much. And when I put these characters into the build, just to give it a placeholder, like just put it in, all of this other stuff that you see now started to come together. So the story behind Plomplepop is that he lives in a low poly, high detail world. So then came the trees. So the trees are just art shapes. Nothing special. Like, just nothing at all special. They're just 4 or 5 pieces of art shapes, but they look so good. And then came the flowers. So I was like, well, okay, if we're having trees, we need to have these flowers, right? So that's what I started to do. I put the flowers together, and that all came together. And then I started to think about sciencey type stuff. So what would we see in a science type build? So of course you've got your little beakers. They're just art shapes, right? They do look a bit crap, but this is for kids. Kids won't know that it's rubbish. Like, we'll look at it as adults and go, come on, the art style of this is rubbish. But remember, low poly, high detail. So there's your beakers. And then I was like, actually, there's one thing that's missing, and that's test tubes. So there you go. We've now got some test tubes as well. And of course, it's going to be rainbow colors because it's got to be colorful for the kids. So yeah. Oh, yes. And in terms of the town, well, I started off doing this bit here. It's the playground, so I just wanted to get a feel for the playground using a similar art style to how I did in the Shorehaven Pier playground. So there's going to be coloured mulch and stuff on the floor here. But what I've done is I've actually started to introduce the characters into the playground. So we've got all of the colours. We've got Adam over there. We've got Nos and Nitros. Where is she? She's in here somewhere. There she is. So yeah, they're like there, and that's where you play amongst all of the characters and stuff, along with all of the low poly decorations and whatever you've got here. So I love it. And then of course the car ride. Taken inspiration from the car ride in Peppa Pig Land at Paulton's, and I just kept it nice and simple. Just a ride through the forest with just some of the the decor and whatever. And the key for a kids land that I found out, and I actually went to go and talk to some people that designed some of the kids lands for different theme parks and whatever, and the key is repetition. So kids don't notice that it's repetition. So like as an adult, you're going to sit there and go, well, you just spammed across a load of stuff and it's all the same thing across the entire land, so what's inventive about this? But actually that's the idea. For kids, you're supposed to have lots and lots of repetition, lots of the same thing, lots of colour, lots of stimulation, because then they start to ingrain all of these images and stuff. So yes, this car ride isn't very inventive from an adult's perspective, but from a kid's perspective, this would be awesome. Driving through the forest of all of these trees that you see on your kids' programme, and then there's Plomplepop at the end. He'd love it. Like, they'd love it. And then I started to think, well, okay, how's the town going to look? What needs to be in the town? So, of course, we've got the main shop that's going to sit in the middle here, and I'll show you that in a moment. But we've got Plomplepop's house. So, I've started to use the KPR cartoon brick wall. This has been various different colours, very different styles, various different all sorts of stuff. But orange was the colour I decided to go with, and I changed the roller coaster to be blue and orange instead. And this now fits quite nicely. So, of course, it needs loads of detail, right? So what I'm showing you now doesn't have a lot of detailing on this. There's going to be, like, the final reveal and stuff will have all the detail adding. I just wanted to show you, like, where my head is at and where I'm designing all of this stuff. So this is going to be the house. It's going to be nice and simple. It doesn't need to be intricate. It doesn't need to be a big grand build like all of the other stuff. It just needs to be colourful and repetitive. And that's the plan. So then I thought, well, okay, what's next? What do we need to do in terms of the town? So next came this hotel. And it's just supposed to be a skyscraper. It doesn't serve any purpose other than being a fast food unit. In this case, it's ice cream and stuff. Is it too tall? Yeah, probably it is. But it fits in with the idea of the town, so that's what's supposed to be there, and this hotel would appear in the show and stuff, and all of that. And then I thought, well, okay, if that's the case, then how does the rest of the town look? And I've gone for this kind of art style. It's almost like New Orleans style art style, but it's a lot of colour. And then I was thinking, well, what colours actually go well together? And again, I've been through so many different colour combinations, it's unreal. But this is what I've settled with. So this idea of having the clock and stuff on the front here, and then a slightly neoclassical image to it. Almost Dutch colonial, if you like. The stucco stuff, the pirate stuff, comes in absolute handy here. So yeah, this is like the first bit. And woohoo, clock. And then we've also got the yellow building here. So this is like supposed to be the toy shop. So this is supposed to represent a high street or a city block, right? Of course, it's just one building in game, or one building in the park, but it's designed to look like multiple buildings. So we've got the yellow building here, and then we've got this. It is actually blue, but it's more of a jade teal kind of turquoise colour. Up against blue it looks green, and up against green it looks blue, so it's actually not turquoise. But then Plomplepop's standing out the window, like throwing stuff at you. It's just all like these little tiny intricate details that these kids would absolutely love. And of course the other side is pretty much the same, again repetition. And then we've got the Cosmic Cow shop that's over here. Some detailing and stuff is needed on the front of these buildings, but this is like the idea that I'm going for here. And even down to this little technique, it's the Quinn roof, but you put it on a different grid, and then you can create this kind of effect going on here. It's just stuff I would never have in a million years have thought of unless I just sat here playing like a child, like just thinking, well, what would I like to see if I was 4, 5, 6 years old? And this is what I sort of came up with. And then the toilets came next. So I was like, well, okay, the toilets need to have a bit of a personality. They need to look slightly different to the mainstream. So this is what we've got here. It's the toilet block. And I've gone with the green colour on this one, and with the orange balcony and stuff. And then inside, again, it's just a cacophony of colour. So do you remember the toilets from the first episode? That was almost like a precursor to what was coming in terms of the colour palette and stuff that was going to be used in this area. So here it is again. And then I've just put in some of the tiled walls along here, and then just repeated it this side, and the sinks and stuff are in here. So I just need to finish off in here, of course. It needs a floor, it needs a ceiling, it needs finishing off, etc, etc. So that will come next, but that's kind of what I'm going for here. And then came the train station. So I wanted again a low poly, high detail train station, and what better way of doing that than having this sort of style. It just needed to be simple. It does not need to be complicated for a kid. It just needs to be visually stimulating without like any kind of imagination involved. So that's what we've got here. And of course, it still needs some touching up. It still needs like some details and whatever adding to what's in the train station. But it is what it is, right? It's in this situation right now. I've come up with an idea of why the witch is here. She's the protagonist of the show, so she's the one that's trying to stop Plomplepop from doing all of his fun little experiments and having fun. She's like that stereotype old woman that doesn't like fun. So that's where she fits into all of this. Then we've got the carousel that's living here, bright and purple and orange. I wanted it to be center stage going on. And then this just randomly came out of my head. I was looking at Cartoon Junction and saw a very similar style design. And I was like, actually, do you know what? We need the laboratory where all of this happens. What better way to have a laboratory than to have a factory? So an old disused factory that Plomplepop goes to do all of his little weird fun experiments. Actually, he sounds quite seedy when I start talking. He sounds quite seedy. But hey, it's fine. Don't tell anyone. Kids programs are often like full of double entendres and full of things that kids just don't understand. So we just, yeah, it's fine. But I wanted to make a thing of this ride because this is a bit of a chaotic ride, so it feels like this is where the experiments and stuff would be. And this is the more thrilling ride of the area, so this is where the bigger kids would probably come and have their rides and stuff. But yeah, this is what we're going for in terms of the factory on the outside and stuff. It looks a bit like a church, actually. But it's going to be more like a brick factory. And then just coming over to the... I'm going to leave it on a high, guys, because this is like none. This is just nothing here. But this is the boat ride, so I'm going to make this a bit of a mix mash of all of the other rides put together. So there's Plomplepop going to be in here and you know, all of his friends and stuff kicking around. And the witch will be in there in some capacity. And then just outside the front here, what I've started to do is just the feeling of the city block and bringing it all to life. So this is the central part. This is the central focal point of the entire area. So this has to feel right. So this is what I'm doing here. And yeah, it turns out that foliage does make it come to life, even when it's low poly, high detail. Love it, love it, love it. So guys, this is one last look at the very stuttery, but at the area before it's finished. Oh guys, I am so chuffed to get this done. I can't wait. I'm just going to get straight into it. I'll see you in a minute. And there you have it, you guys. Plomplepop Land is officially open, and look at it in all of its colour and glory and silliness. And look at this sign. Ah, Spike has done an awesome job. So I saved this one till now, and just look at this sign. It's so good. It's like he's just gone into my brain and gone, how does this logo look? And this is exactly it. I couldn't have done better myself. I really couldn't. It's just incredible, guys. Thank you for that, Spike. And can you hear the music in the background? I don't know if you can hear it, like the little xylophone. So that's like some kind of ambient background music that I found. It's the same guy that did the Wild West one last week, right? So it's all copyright-free music. However, I have also found this. Imagine this is the official theme tune from the telly. Are you ready? I'm not going to play it all out because it's a minute long, but I've set that up to trigger once every month, and I wanted it to feel like it was a little bit of a flash mob. A little bit like Gardaland does when they play their music for the entire season, right? And they dip all the music and this plays and there's like dances and stuff that appear. I wanted that kind of vibe to it, and can you imagine working here listening to that? Ugh. But I wanted to bring out the silliness of the area. That was the idea. So I needed a silly theme tune. And this is the whole theme now, by the way. Just remember silly. Not well designed, not expensive, not high budget, not bougie, silly. And it starts in this playground because look at this colour. Oh, I did it in Shorehaven Pier, and I've dragged it out again, and I just love it. Like, it's just all of this colour and cacophony that's going on. I have left one bit that's faded. I didn't want it to be entirely perfect. It's not new. The area's not new. It's just really well kept. So they've just not replaced this bit yet. But yeah, you've got all of the characters and all of this stuff. That music. Guys, just to keep myself grounded with everything, I had to replay that on repeat. It's all like ad nauseum, and now I hear it, I cringe. It's horrible. So then we've got The car ride, so the car ride is now done. Nothing really much has changed on this one. It's just had its tidying up and whatever done around here. The boat ride has had a lot done to it. It's now feeling more like a boat ride. So what I've done here is I've dotted around some of the characters, set off some of the triggers for some of the effects that have been built into the friends. And then at the end here, there's just the Plomplepop and the witch playing together. Well, not playing together, but like they're having their fight together. So I just wanted to have a couple of scenes from the TV show, and then this is how the station's looking from down this end. Right, this station wouldn't be any more than this. It's not supposed to be elaborate. Look at the Alton Towers in the Night Garden station. It's not very elaborate at all, so I'm happy with this. And the hotel, that's just now sitting quite nicely. Like now that it's got all of its pathway and stuff down, I like it. And now we've got some foliage and stuff in here. So I have actually put some real life foliage, IRL foliage in here as just to sort of like bring the area to life. It felt too plasticky otherwise. It needed it to break it up, and particularly as I was using real life flower beds and stuff, it felt like there would be a couple of real trees in it too. And then we've just got the I can't remember what it's called, the Swift Eagles. So that's now in. And the Ferris wheel is now in here. The toilets, toilets are all done, dusted. It's got its roof. Inside here is now all finished, so it's now nice and colourful. It doesn't look so crappy in here anymore, so there you go. Cha-cha toilets. And then you've got the railway station. That's all nicely done. Fine tweaks and stuff going on in here. There's not much that's been changed. It's just like tweaking the bits going on, like adding some of the friends around and some of the trees and whatever, just to give the area a bit of life. Over in the witches merry-go-round, again, it's like tweaks and throwing down all the pathing and stuff, the fencing around the outside just to finish it off. By the way, I haven't finished the outside of the park. I've run out of time for the week, and I don't know whether to do an extra episode showing you the final touches like I normally do, or should I just leave it till the tour? Tell me in the comments below, please, guys. Do you want a bonus episode, a shorter bonus episode of me finishing the park, or would you rather just see it as the final tour? So here's the Plomple Factory. There it is, Plomple Factory. It's all done. I didn't actually want to put effects and stuff on this in the end because it actually makes the prestige of this ride too high. So I've actually left it open and left it empty. But you get the idea. It's a bit of scenery thrown around, a few near misses with some of the usual scenery. I did have lights and stuff in here, but actually I decided to remove them. It was just too much. You've got the carousel then sitting here, just all nicely there, and then you've also got the grabber machines going on in here. Again, this was supposed to be like a market stall, so this is supposed to be in the center of the town, just like a market stall with a canopy awning. Then we go to the Plomplepop coaster. There we go, Plomplepop coaster. And so the queue line is all done. I wanted this to feel relatively low level foliage. No, wait, that's not even the right. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I wanted this to have low level foliage. I didn't want this to be overgrown. I didn't want this to have lots of trees. I wanted it to have lots of flowers. So that's what I've done here. I've just kitted out the queue line. It's a relatively short queue line. It wouldn't actually attract much of a queue because it's not that much of a prestige ride, but I just wanted it to feel right on the sight line. The reason I've chosen not to use so much foliage is because it had to be accessible from, or you had to be able to see it from the path, so that's what I've gone for here. And then of course I've done inside the house. Now I need to talk about the inside of this house because I did have lots of decoration in here. It was kitted out as if it was his actual house. It just felt so oppressive, and it was so much. It took away from the idea of what I was trying to achieve. So I deleted it, stripped it all back, and just kept it like this. And actually, although you might not think it, I prefer it this way. Before it was just too much. It was just too much. So stripped it right back, added in a few decorations, a bit of extra colour, added a thing to the ceiling, and then off you go. You're good to go. And then on the outside, I just tidied up the bits around here and the trims and whatever, and added a couple of chimneys. This did have coloured smoke coming from it, but I realised when I researched that actually that's quite polluting to the environment, particularly to make them and particularly to set them off. So decided against it in the end, took them off. But it was blue and pink smoke that came out of here. But no, we still have to live within our means. And then we come to the shops. Yes. So what I did with Spike's sign here, I had this brainwave in the middle of the night, right? That it should have been called the Professor Plomplepop Shop rather than Plomplepop. And I didn't have a sign for it. And I did think, well, maybe we could do a sign for it and it would have its own brand. But actually, then I thought, what if we scribbled out the P in crayon and put the SH on there and just edited the sign? So this is what this is supposed to be. Scribbling out the P, writing the SH. I wish we had like handwriting letters. That would have been pretty cool. But imagine it's been done in crayon, so that's now the sign. But this is the outside of the shop from this angle, and we come this way, and then this is the angle, and then we come this way, and this is the angle there. Ice cream shop, of course, has been done inside, but first we're going to go into the gift shop. Look at the gift shop. Yes. So I wanted low roof. We're dealing with kids, so it's got to be relatively low roof, relatively oppressive. But what I've done is I've put these clouds on the roof. So I've got a blue ceiling, and then I just put these clouds up just to give it like a little bit of fun. And then all I've done here is I've just kitted out the shelves with all the usual stuff that you would find in a gift shop. And guess what? It's not my usual stock out of the box gift shop stuff. I actually had to do this bit by bit. It took forever. But it was worth it. Totally. Oh no, there's the music. Guys, honestly, hours worth of this on repeat. You end up building on pause. But it makes the area, as much as I like cringe every time it does, it makes the area, it makes it perfect. And then you've got inside here, so we've got the Cosmic Cow Shop. I've kept this simple. I didn't want to do anything else in here. I didn't want to overdo it. This area is, as I said, it's about being silly. It's not about being highly detailed. So, yes, guys, this is so much fun. I think this is my favourite view of the area from the railway tracks down here, where you've just got the Plomplepop logo and then you've got the buildings and stuff in the background. It's just got a lot of depth to it. I just love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. So this is how it's looking from the top then. So as I said, let me know in the comments whether you want the bonus episode of me finishing the park off, because there is stuff that I need to do. For example, I have edited the pathway here, so that needs tidying up. I want to do something here. This doesn't feel right anymore. There's some bits over in this area that I want to just tidy up. I want to put some like advert signs and maybe park maps and stuff down. And then, of course, you've got the western area over here. I want to do some like tweaks to the not shooting ride. Well, I will call it a shooting ride because it's a ride that's being shot at. The western ride. I kind of want to do some tweaks to that. And then, of course, we've got the adventure area. I think I just want to tweak some of this queue line and whatever. So yeah, there is a little bit of work that still needs to be done to the park. And there's a surprise that I haven't shown you, so I'd love to know whether you want an extra episode. Anyway, I don't know why I'm waffling, because that's what Chacho does. Chacho just waffles, and I'm not here for that anymore. Guys, thank you so much for getting to the end of the episode. This has been a silly episode, and I've loved it. Let me know what you think of Plomplepop and his land down below, please. Of course, subscribe, because we have got lots more coming on the channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, help the algorithm. It's March! Hooray! We made it to March. Right, we're going to go for a ride on Plomplepop. I'll see you next week, guys. Have a good one. Take care now. Bye-bye!